Sometimes the hardest goodbyes are the universe's way of keeping you safe. You're not like everyone else. You've never needed a crowd to validate you or a script to guide you. You move through life quietly, choosing depth over drama, truth over trends, and purpose over popularity. That's what makes you a Sigma woman, and it's also why dark forces have tried to test you. But here's the secret. Every time you felt a chill in your gut, every relationship that fell apart without explanation, every moment of uncanny calm in the storm, you were being protected by something far bigger than yourself. These 11 signs aren't just odd quirks of your personality. They're proof that God is watching over you, shielding you from betrayal, deflecting lies, and sending subtle warnings so you can stay clear of harm. You're wired for independence, intuition, and inner strength. Celebrate that. Embrace the ways you're divinely guided away from toxicity and toward growth. Let this be your reminder that your solitude is sacred, your instincts are holy, and your peace is a fortress no evil can breach. This isn't about being better than anyone else, it's about being built differently. You are a Sigma woman, resilient, discerning, and fiercely guarded by a power that values your worth more than any enemy could ever diminish. Stay true to yourself, trust the signs, and keep walking your path with confidence. You are never alone, and you are always protected. Even this message reaching you right now is the universe's way of speaking to you. Make sure to watch till the end for deeper understanding. Number 1. Gut instincts that never fail. Ever shake hands with someone and feel a zap of wrong run up your arm? That's a Sigma woman's gut instinct firing its divine radar. It isn't worry or overthinking, it's a clear signal from something bigger than her own mind, tuned to pick up on hidden dangers before they surface. Here's why it's so magnetic to watch. She steps into a room and, instead of scanning faces for small talk, she scans for energy. In an instant, her body whispers warnings, a hitch in her breath, a flicker of tension behind someone's smile, a nudge in her stomach that says, "Keep your guard up." Most folks chalk it up to first impressions. She knows it's protection. What follows is pure mastery. While others chat blindly, she moves with purpose, positioning herself near exits, keeping conversations light, or quietly excusing herself. People nearby sense her confidence and unconsciously mirror her calm. Meanwhile, the ones with ill intent find themselves stalled, their schemes deflated by an invisible barrier. It's not about being mistrustful. It's about being guided. Each flash of discomfort is a breadcrumb from that higher source, pointing her away from betrayal, manipulation, or wasted time. She doesn't need proof. She needs no receipts. When her divine radar pings, she acts. No explanations, no regrets. And here's the kicker. The more she trusts these signals, the sharper they get. It's a feedback loop of spiritual alignment. Every time she sidesteps a fake friend or dodges a toxic situation, her radar recalibrates, growing more precise. She's not just surviving social interactions, she's navigating them with prophetic precision. Watching her is like seeing someone move through a minefield blindfolded and never step on a landmine. That inner alarm isn't paranoia. It's proof she's covered by something unseen. It's the ultimate life hack. An instinct honed by divine protection that never fails, turning every room into a safe zone and every encounter into a choice. Number 2. Dream warnings. Last night I dreamt he smiled at me while twisting a knife. Ever woken up from a dream so real it left you shaking, and then days later the person in that dream stabbed you in the back? That's no coincidence. For a Sigma woman, dreams aren't just random movie reels, they're early warning systems. They're God whispering in symbols, giving her a sneak peek at betrayal before it ever shows up in daylight. Here's how it plays out. She goes to sleep thinking about a new friend, a potential partner, or even a business deal. In her dream, something feels off. Maybe the friend's laughter echoes too hollow, or the partner's eyes glint with dishonesty as they hand her a gift. She wakes up unsettled, but life moves on, until that same smiling friend gossips behind her back, or the perfect partner's secret lies surface. Suddenly, the dream makes chilling sense. This isn't about overthinking or wishful thinking. It's about a deeper connection to truth that most people never tap into. Her subconscious mind is keyed into details her waking mind misses. A flicker of falsehood in someone's expression, a discordant tone in their voice. While she sleeps, those tiny signals get amplified into vivid scenes. Scenes meant to jolt her awake, not lull her deeper into trust. And here's the kicker. She doesn't need to understand every symbol. She just needs to remember the feeling, that pit in her stomach, that racing heartbeat, that sense of something isn't right. Because when reality catches up, she already knows what to look for. She's already prepared. Most people dismiss dreams as nonsense, fleeting images with no real impact, but she cherishes them, she journals them, she treats them like treasure maps to hidden dangers. Because every warning dream she heeds is a betrayal avoided, a heartbreak prevented, a setback sidestepped. So the next time she tells you she had a nightmare about you, listen. It might sting her to mention it, but it's her way of protecting herself. And in that honesty, you see one of the clearest signs that she's watched over by something greater, something that values her safety more than social niceties. Dream warnings aren't spooky, they're divine lifelines. And for a Sigma woman, they're worth more than gold. Number 3, instant disinterest. Ever noticed how some people can't stop talking garbage and you just don't care? That's the Sigma woman's superpower, instant disinterest. When a toxic person tries to draw her into drama, she doesn't get hooked. She doesn't raise an eyebrow. She just scrolls past the noise, emotionally immune, mentally checked out. And here's the wild part. It's not indifference born from arrogance. It's protection gifted from above, a built-in filter that dulls the sting of poison before it ever reaches her heart. Imagine someone rolls up with gossip, insults, or mind games. Most of us get ticked off, hurt, or sucked into the argument. We taste the bait, we swallow the hook, and then we're stuck wrestling with resentment or regret. But she feels a momentary flicker, then nothing. Her energy stays intact. Her focus stays sharp. It's like God pressed mute on the toxicity. This meh reaction isn't taught. It's not a tactic she read in a self-help book. It's instinctual. When negativity flies her way, her spirit recognizes it as useless noise and simply tunes it out. She doesn't waste a single thought on someone who thrives on chaos. She knows there are better things to spend her time on: growth, peace, purpose. And the more she practices this, the stronger it gets. Toxic people soon learn that trying to rile her up is pointless. Their words collapse in midair. Their insults evaporate. They feel ignored, and that frustrates them more than any clapback could, because at least a reaction acknowledges their power. Her may gives them nothing. Here's the real kicker. This isn't emotional coldness. It's divine wisdom. She's not shutting people out. She's protected from being harmed by them. She's free to choose where to put her energy, and she chooses herself, her dreams, and the people who actually matter. So next time you see her gloss over drama like it's background static, know this. She's not unaware. She's not uncaring. She's just covered. And in that calm dismissal, you witness one of the clearest signs that she's walking with a shield no bitterness can penetrate. Number 4, serendipitous helpers. Out of nowhere, a stranger told me exactly what I needed to hear, and it changed everything. That's no random act of kindness. For a Sigma woman, those chance encounters are divine pit stops on her journey. She might be stuck wrestling with a problem, career crossroads, relationship drama, or a crisis of confidence, when someone she's never met steps in with the perfect insight. It feels like the universe itself handed her the answer on a silver platter. Here's how it usually goes down. She's lost in thought at a coffee shop, scrolling through worrying texts, or pacing her living room in frustration. Then, out of the blue, a barista, a passerby, or even someone in her social feed drops a comment or suggestion that slices through her confusion. It isn't vague positivity. It's specific, actionable, and hits the core of what she's dealing with. Maybe it's a book recommendation that contains the exact chapter she needs. Maybe it's a tip on setting boundaries that mirrors her own unspoken fears. Maybe it's a simple phrase, "You deserve better," that unlocks her courage. Most people shrug these moments off as luck or coincidence, but she knows better. She's learned to recognize the pattern. Right place, right time, right person. That alignment doesn't happen by chance when you're under divine protection. It's a signal that she's not alone in her struggles, that an unseen hand is guiding her steps. What makes this even more powerful is how she responds. She doesn't ignore these messages. She writes them down. She thanks the messenger. She acts. Because she knows these helpers are more than strangers. They're agents of her growth, sent to redirect her path or bolster her spirit. And here's the unspoken truth. These interventions build her faith. Every time someone appears with the perfect solution, her trust in a higher plan deepens. She starts to move through life expecting guidance, watching for those serendipitous helpers and leaning into the subtle currents that carry her forward. So when you see a Sigma woman pause to jot down a stranger's advice or light up after a random conversation, know this: you're witnessing a touch of the divine. In those fleeting moments, she's plugged into a network of support that transcends logic. A network designed to lift her up, steer her clear of danger, and keep her moving toward her purpose. Number 5, invisible shields. In the middle of the fire, her armor is invisible and it never fails. When a Sigma woman faces attacks, gossip, slander, or outright lies, most people scramble to defend themselves. They explain, justify, get emotional, and often dig the hole deeper. She doesn't. She stands firm in silence, and somehow the falsehoods collapse on their own. It's as if an unseen force holds up a barrier around her, making insults bounce off and rumors lose their power. Picture a tense moment, co-workers whispering half-truths, a so-called friend spreading a nasty rumor, or an ex twisting stories to make her look bad. Everyone else leans in, hungry for details, but when the chatter reaches her ears, it sputters out. People sense something is off. The story feels hollow. The energy evaporates. There's no dramatic rebuttal, no need. The truth, upheld by something bigger than office politics or social media drama, simply shines through. This isn't magic. It's divine protection in action. While others are busy fueling the fire, she trusts that integrity and truth have their own momentum. She's seen it too many times. A lie gains traction for a moment, then stalls, then vanishes, often leaving the liar looking shrill and desperate. Meanwhile, she moves on unbothered, her reputation intact. What's fascinating is how people around her react. Allies feel reinforced in their loyalty. Fence-sitters lose interest in the drama. Even the rumor monger eventually tires of shouting into the void. No amount of slander can penetrate that invisible shield because it's not built on her effort. It's built on divine honor. She doesn't boast about this gift. She doesn't gloat when her attackers falter. She simply continues on her path, knowing that truth doesn't need a microphone. It needs only a witness, and she has the ultimate witness on her side. Watching her in these moments is compelling. It's a study in contrasts, the chaos of accusation against the calm of conviction. It's proof that when you're covered by something greater, you don't have to fight every battle. You just have to stand still and let the lies run out of breath. And in that stillness you see the power of an invisible shield no falsehood can breach. Number 6, uncanny synchronicities. Have you ever had a thought, and moments later the exact answer pops up in a song lyric, a book passage, or someone's casual comment? For most people, that's a neat coincidence. For a Sigma woman, it's a spotlight on the path she's meant to take. These uncanny synchronicities are like signposts planted by something greater, guiding her steps with precision that defies probability. Imagine she's wrestling with a tough choice. Should she quit that draining job? How can she set firmer boundaries with a friend? What's the next move in her passion project? She turns the question over in her mind, hunting for clarity. Then, almost immediately, she hears the exact phrase she needed in a podcast. Or she flips a page in a random book, and the author's words mirror her own unspoken insight. Or a stranger's offhand remark in line at the store nails the solution. It's not a vague platitude, it's the precise key to her lock. These aren't one-off flukes. They happen again and again, forming a pattern she can't ignore. While skeptics call it chance, she knows better. She's learned to lean into these moments, to pause, take note, and act. She might snap a photo of the page, jot down the lyric, or record the conversation. Because she understands. These synchronicities aren't just guiding her decisions. They're strengthening her trust in the bigger picture. What makes this so gripping to watch is how it shifts her energy. Instead of doubt and second-guessing, she moves with swift confidence. Those around her see someone in tune with life's hidden currents, someone who doesn't just react, but flows. And that flow creates momentum that propels her forward faster than any plan she could have drawn up herself. Behind the scenes, this alignment does more than solve problems. It rewires her intuition, sharpening it for the next nudge. Each synchronicity is a building block in her spiritual radar, teaching her to recognize the subtle language of guidance. So when you see a Sigma woman pause mid-conversation to smile at a random lyric or bookmark a line in a book, know you're witnessing a dialogue between her and something beyond. Those uncanny synchronicities are proof she's not wandering blind. She's being steered gently, perfectly, toward her true course. Number 7. Innate discernment. Ever get that feeling someone's smiling at you, but their eyes are planning something else? A Sigma woman doesn't just notice the mismatch. She zeroes in on it like a spotlight. That's her innate discernment in action, the ability to see past charming words and polished facades straight into the motives underneath. It's not because she's suspicious by nature. It's because something deeper, call it spiritual insight, has tuned her senses to the frequencies of truth and deceit. Here's the play-by-play. She meets someone new, a coworker, a potential friend, even a romantic interest. They're friendly, they laugh, they share small talk. Most people stop there, taking smiles at face value. She doesn't. She watches micro-expressions. A flash of impatience when she speaks, a tightening around the mouth when certain topics come up, a hesitation before a compliment. Her mind files these details away. Then she feels it. A subtle dissonance, like a note slightly off-key in a song. That dissonance triggers her radar. She doesn't call the person out immediately. Instead, she sidesteps. She asks clarifying questions. She tests boundaries gently. And almost always, the hidden agenda pops up. An ulterior motive, a manipulative twist, a self-serving angle. By then, she's already repositioned herself, avoiding the trap without drama. What makes this so captivating is how seamless it looks. To onlookers, she's simply polite, curious, and composed. But beneath that calm surface, her spiritual insight is scanning every interaction, filtering out noise and highlighting truth. It's like she has X-ray vision for intent. And that vision is powered by more than just experience or instinct. It's reinforced by moments of divine guidance. The sudden realization in prayer, the flash of understanding during meditation, the whispered warning in a dream. And because she trusts that guidance, she doesn't second-guess herself. When her discernment flags someone, she steps back without guilt. She doesn't need proof or confrontation. She knows her peace is priceless, and she protects it fiercely. Watching her navigate social waters is mesmerizing. You see a masterclass in quiet awareness, someone who moves through crowds yet remains untouchable by manipulation. That's the power of innate discernment, a gift that turns everyday conversations into clear signals, ensuring she only welcomes what's real and lets the rest fade away. Number 8. Peace that defies circumstances. Imagine standing in the middle of a hurricane and feeling so calm you could read a book. That's what it looks like when a Sigma woman carries peace that defies circumstances. Around her, deadlines explode, relationships implode, bills pile up, and drama screams for attention. Yet she moves through it all with the ease of someone on a quiet beach. It isn't denial or pretending everything's fine. It's a deep stillness rooted in something unshakable, a power no storm can touch. Here's the real deal. Most of us ride the emotional roller coaster of life. We panic when money's tight, spiral when trust is broken, and ruminate when the future feels uncertain. Our peace wobbles because it's tied to outcomes we can't control. But her peace? It's anchored in a source that laughs at circumstance. She knows that chaos is temporary, but that grounding is permanent. When her business deal falls through, she might feel disappointment for a moment. But that moment passes in hours, not weeks. When a friendship turns toxic, she grieves the loss briefly. Then her calm compass points her to new connections. If a family crisis erupts, she responds with clear-headed solutions instead of reactive emotion. In every case, she doesn't get trapped in the what-ifs and whys. She trusts that something greater is weaving all the threads, even the painful ones, into a pattern she can't yet see. What makes this so captivating is how it shifts the energy around her. People in crisis latch onto her. Their racing hearts slow, their panicked voices soften. They find themselves asking, how is she so unbothered? And she doesn't teach them a trick or recite a mantra. She simply radiates the proof that peace isn't a prize you earn. It's a presence you carry when you know you're protected. Behind the scenes, she cultivates this calm through small daily rituals. A moment of honest prayer before her feet hit the floor, a midday pause to breathe and remember her bigger picture, a gratitude check when worries threaten to creep back in. These aren't grand gestures. They're whispers of faith that reinforce her shield. Watching her is like witnessing a mountain unmoved by an earthquake. That level of serenity isn't common, and it sure isn't easy. But for her, it's natural, because her peace doesn't come from circumstances lining up. It comes from a power no evil can breach, a quiet fortress within that stands long after the storm has passed. Number 9. Chance missed connections. Ever planned your future with someone, only to have the door shut in your face? That sudden end feels like a punch. You replay every conversation, hunting for the clue you missed. But months later, when the truth finally seeps out, his lies, her betrayal, the hidden toxicity, you realize that slammed door was a lifeline, not a lockout. For a Sigma woman, those missed connections are divine detours, steering her away from people and situations that would have drained her spirit. Here's how it usually unfolds. She meets someone, romantic interest, business partner, or ride-or-die friend, and things click. She envisions late-night talks, shared dreams, mutual support. Then, radio silence. The messages stop, the invitations vanish, the opportunity evaporates. At first, she's left with questions. What did I do wrong? Was I not enough? But she doesn't stew in self-doubt for long. She holds space for the loss and moves on with her life. Later, the pieces fall into place. She hears through the grapevine that the friend was gossiping about her. She learns the partner was two-timing her. She discovers the job was a sinking ship of backstabbing colleagues. In every case, she sees the slammed door in a new light. Not rejection, but rescue. God didn't let those connections stick because he knew what lay beneath the surface. Hidden agendas, manipulative games, and energy drains she couldn't afford. What makes this so compelling is her response. She doesn't chase the closed door. She doesn't beg for explanations. She thanks the universe for the redirection and keeps walking. That's magnetic. People notice how quickly she bounces back, how she never carries bitterness, and how her faith in better things only grows stronger. Those missed connections become part of her story, chapters titled Saved by Silence and Rescued by Goodbye. Each one deepens her trust in divine timing. She learns that every dead end is actually a fork in the road, guiding her toward paths that align with her purpose and protect her peace. So when you see a Sigma woman shrug off a sudden breakup or opportunity that fizzled, know this: she's not unlucky, she's been shielded. And in that divine slamming of doors, she finds freedom, clarity, and the confidence to step into relationships and ventures that truly deserve her. Number 10. Vibrations of discomfort. Have you ever noticed someone's smile suddenly stiffen when you walk into the room? That weird twitch, the dropped eye contact, the fumbling words, they're clues that a Sigma woman's energy does more than just fill a space. It actively reshapes it. Negative people, gossips, energy vampires, manipulators don't just feel uneasy around her. Their toxicity physically recoils like metal filings pushed away from a magnet. And that invisible force? It's her divine protection at work. Here's what happens in real life. She joins a group conversation and you can almost see the conversation pivot. The loud gossipers quiet down. The self-promoters lose their swagger. Someone who rushed to dominate the chat suddenly checks their phone. They're not plotting against her. They're instinctively guarding their own agendas. Her calm, centered presence interrupts their usual patterns, and they don't know how to handle it. It's not because she's intimidating or unapproachable. It's because she doesn't feed into negativity. When someone tries to drag her into drama, she simply doesn't respond. No reaction means no fuel. Without that spark, their schemes sputter out. Their insults hit nothing but air. Their attempts at manipulation fizzle before she even realizes they began. What makes this so captivating is watching the shift. One moment the energy is heavy, snide jokes, undercurrents of competition, whispered gossip. The next moment, after she's been in the mix, the mood lightens, voices soften, and people who thrive on conflict drift away. It's like she carries a halo that toxicity can't penetrate, a bubble of peace that forces chaos to dissolve at the edges. And she doesn't have to work at it. She's not policing the room or confronting anyone. She's simply herself, grounded, honest, and attuned to something greater. Her faith, her self-respect, and her unspoken trust in divine protection create a field that negative energy can't cross. Watching her navigate a tense situation is mesmerizing. You see tension deflate, malicious glances lose their edge, and toxic players retreat. That's the power of vibrations of discomfort, a sign that she's shielded by a force no poison can breach, and that her presence alone is enough to keep evil at bay. Number 11. Unplanned solitude. Ever look around and realize you're exactly where you need to be, even if you didn't plan to be there? That's unplanned solitude for a Sigma woman. Those moments when she finds herself alone, not because she's been ditched or forgotten, but because something bigger cleared the room. While everyone else is stuck in gossip circles, drama loops, or manipulative schemes, she's off in her own headspace, resting, reflecting, recharging. And it's never loneliness. It's perfect timing. Picture this. She skips that after-work happy hour on a hunch and ends up at home with a cup of tea. While coworkers are trading barbs over office politics, she's jotting ideas in her journal. Later she realizes the fight she avoided would have sucked her into petty conflict and wasted her evening. That unplanned night alone. It was a mini retreat, a space God carved out to protect her peace and spark her next breakthrough. Or maybe she wakes up early, too early for her alarm, and instead of crawling back under the covers, she sits by the window watching dawn spread across the sky. She's not bored. She's quietly tuned in to the calm before the world wakes up. In that hush, insights flow, a new project angle, a fresh way to set boundaries, a gentle reminder of what really matters. These pockets of unplanned solitude show up again and again. She misses one train, so she has 20 extra minutes to think. A friend cancels last minute, so she takes a walk and finds clarity. An online thread erupts in drama, and she logs off, only to stumble on the perfect solution to her own problem in the silence that follows. What makes this so captivating is how effortless it seems. To outsiders, she's lucky to get that quiet time. But she knows it's more than luck. It's divine choreography. Those gaps in her schedule are shields against noise. Those unexpected pauses are invitations to reconnect with her inner compass. While others fear being alone, she leans into it. Because she's learned that solitude isn't an absence of people, it's the presence of purpose. It's in those unplanned moments that she hears her own voice, feels her own strength, and remembers she's guided by something no chaos can touch. And when she rejoins the world, she does so with fresh energy, clear vision, and the quiet confidence of someone who knows solitude isn't a setback, it's a strategic advantage. In final words, sometimes the universe closes a door so you'll never have to face what's behind it. You've always done things your own way, quietly observing, fiercely independent, and unwilling to play by everyone else's rules. You don't crave the spotlight, you crave truth. You don't chase approval, you chase purpose. That makes you a Sigma woman, and it also makes you a target for manipulators, gossipers, and energy vampires who mistake your calm for weakness. But here's the unspoken truth. You're not unprotected. Every time you sense danger and walk away, every time a toxic relationship fizzles before it starts, and every time your gut screams no and you listen, you're being guarded by something greater. You're under divine watch. These 11 signs aren't just quirks of your personality. They're proof that God is your shield, steering you away from betrayal, shielding you from lies, and lighting your path when darkness looms. As you recognize these signs in your life, those gut instincts that never fail, those perfectly timed moments of solitude, those strangers who show up with exactly the advice you need, remember this. You're built for more than surviving. You're built for thriving. Your independence isn't a flaw, it's your superpower. Your silence isn't emptiness, it's your strategy. And your peace isn't passivity, it's your fortress. So stand tall in your uniqueness. Celebrate the ways you're nudged away from harm and pulled toward growth. Let these signs remind you that you're never truly alone, that every missed connection was a blessing in disguise, and that the calm you carry through chaos is a gift, not an accident.